Welcome back everybody to another Hero RR video, and today we are going to be upgrading my 6th generation VFR800 rectifier to a Mosfet rectifier. In the past I did upgrade my VFR with a VFRness, which is fine, but it's more of a band-aid to an issue. To really fix the VFR charging issues, a Mosfet rectifier is really the only way to take care of it once and for all. Now, my bike has been operating just fine and I have no issues with my charging system at this point in time, but I am over 30,000 miles now on my VFR and I know it's a matter of when, not if, the charging system will nuke itself. So what better time to tackle this than right now? So let's get on with this video. Alright, so first we're going to start on roadstercycle.com. This is not a sponsored video. I paid for everything out of pocket with my own money. Anyway, so scroll down and first thing you're going to do is you're going to grab the extra foot battery right here. You'll hit add to cart, and then you're also going to hit this right here, 24 inches, add to cart, and then you're going to scroll down all the way to right here, and this is the super kit for $288.95. You're going to add that to cart. Now you're going to go down here, and this is optional, but I went ahead and did it, and I got myself a 4-way bracket. Add that to the cart. When you're all done, you'll see these 4 items right here. You can go ahead and take a screenshot of this, and the total is going to be $324.65. Again, one last time, I paid full price for this. This is just, if you want to do what I did, this is how much you're going to have to spend, and this is what you're going to need to order. This is right now, as of July of 2024, what you need to buy. So as we take apart the bike, I just wanted to let you guys know that this is something I strongly recommend every single 6th gen owner do. In fact, I would say it's mandatory. It's better to do it now before you have issues, because once the issue starts, damage to the stator can occur, and if that happens, then you'll be set back an additional cost of a stator, which is between like $300 and $400, and you gotta go OEM, never go aftermarket on a stator. It will just break again in a couple months. Also, it's possible it can actually take out your battery and your wiring as well, so do not put this off. It can happen at any mileage as well. I've seen it happen on as low as 5,000 miles on these bikes, so do not waste your time. Get this thing done ASAP if you can. So I don't show fairing removal, but I have plenty of videos on my channel showing that already. You really only need to pop off the right side fairing and prop up the tank. The OEM rectifier is tucked right here underneath the radiator filler cap. As mentioned earlier, I do have the VFRness on my bike, which is those extra green wires you see. You likely won't see those on yours. All of that is going to be removed when I install the new rectifier anyway. Of course, disconnecting the negative terminal of your battery is mandatory here. You want to be safe and not short anything out or fry anything. Just remove the negative and you should be alright once you tuck it away. I unplugged everything off camera because a lot of what you see here is the VFRness, which will likely not be applicable to you. You can see the 2 wires here just need to get disconnected and you should be okay, unless you have the VFRness like I do. If you do happen to have the VFRness, then you can watch my VFRness installation video and just do everything in reverse if you need help on installing it, but it is fairly straightforward. And as I was taking everything apart, I got a lovely surprise. Check this out. This connector right here is infamous for heating up and melting. This is what it looks like when it destroys your charging system. Looking at this makes me feel so lucky that I decided to tackle this right now and not put it off another season. This thing right here is a ticking time bomb. This is exactly why I tell you guys not to wait to tackle this. Get it done right away. This could have left me stranded at any moment. Well, I just cut this thing off because I couldn't get it off, but look at the connection. Wow. Catastrophic failure at any moment. So in order to install the new rectifier, you actually have to do this part anyway. The good thing is this connector is known to fail. I guess this is a good representation. Don't play. Just go ahead. If you guys have a 6th generation VFR, just spend the $300 and get this done. If you have to get towed one time, it's gonna cost this. Plus, if your old rectifier takes out your stator and battery, you are completely stranded. You're gonna have to buy a new stator and a battery and a rectifier, and it's gonna cost way more money in the long run. This is preventative maintenance, and I wouldn't even consider this optional. I would say this is mandatory. I had the VFRness, which was considered a Band-Aid. Nothing against the VFR-ness, it's a good product, but the VFR needs more than just that. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and clip this connector real quick. There we go. Look at that. That is absolutely wild. I don't know if I can pull it through. I can't. Yeah, I can pull it this way. Yeah, look at that is not good. It's an absolute miracle the bike did not leave me stranded. Absolute miracle. I got so lucky. And you know what I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to remove the old rectifier. So the rectifier is hidden behind this coolant fill cap, and it's right here. It's two 8mm bolts. I already removed one because I had to in order to remove the VFR-ness. So I did that off camera, but let's go ahead and get this last bolt out. So we have one right here. There we go. Here we go. Just pull this connector. There we go. Here it is. This is the old OEM rectifier. I bought the optional adapter plate from Roadster Cycle, and it's gonna go basically right here at an angle like that. But unfortunately, this bracket right here has to also sit there. And as you can see, we don't quite have the clearance right here. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to cut this top part off, and then it can go right there. And I think I'm gonna cut the bottom right here too, because we don't need that as well, because that's gonna be poking the wires underneath. And here it is, all cut and sanded down to a smooth finish. I did this to prevent any chafing of the wires. These two cuts should allow everything to fit just fine. I quickly mounted the plate to the frame using the included hardware. I did end up going back and adding some Loctite to those bolts though, because why not? I had to remove this little wire holder off of here. And now I should have enough space to mount the rectifier. The wire is gonna be pointing down on this one. So this is the new rectifier, and I just plugged these in real quick. And I noticed with these in basically all the way, they're fouling on the radiator. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm going to flip them back and try to make the wires go up over the frame this way, and then I can connect them in and see if that works. Okay, so I just kind of took this wire right here, tucked into the tank, pulled it out, so it's going behind the frame here. Same with this gray wire, it's kind of going down right here. So this gray wire, these will go right into the yellow, and I'm gonna click these into the rectifier, then slip it down and see if I can bolt it into place and make sure there's no stress at all on the radiator here. Okay, so what I ended up doing is down here, this wire for the ECU went over this coolant line, but instead I disconnected everything and fed it underneath the coolant line. So now it looks pretty good. The wires fit pretty good. Doesn't seem like they're pulling on them too bad. Everything seems all right. Actually, I have a little bit slack on that white one. But anyway, and anybody that's curious, this red wire, this is for my gear indicator. So if you don't have one of those, you're not gonna have that red wire. But anyway, now I should have plenty of room to run these wires for the rectifier. So just to explain what happened, the wires coming down from the rectifier kept fouling on the radiator, and I didn't like how they were pushing down on it. So what I decided to do was reroute the ECU wire, which gave me enough space to allow the rectifier to sit a lot more comfortably, and the wires now don't push on anything. So this part really sucked to do. I didn't have a lot of space to work with these wires. As you can see, they're just poking out like a half of an inch. I tried to use my automatic crimpers, but I couldn't get them in there. I ended up having to manually do it really carefully with my cutters, just go around them and pull them out. It took a lot of effort and focus, so I didn't actually end up really getting a good job filming it, mainly because all you could see was my hand. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut ahead to where they're already stripped. If you're having trouble with this, you can pull this stator wire all the way through to the other side, strip them, and then feed it back. Maybe tie a string to it so you can easily thread it through again. I didn't feel like doing that though, so I just went ahead and I just toughed it out and tried to strip it. So this really is the most difficult part about this install, and it's only difficult because you have no room to work with. Again, you could always pull these wires through and crimp it on the other side. It might be a lot easier. I decided just to work right here because I didn't feel like removing the side fairing, and decided to work in the limited space that I had. You just have to basically put these butt connectors on, crimp one side so it doesn't pull through, and then put the other wires in and then crimp that. Once you're all done, you can take the heat gun, heat it all up, and then it will just basically solder the connection together, and then you'll be all set and good to go. All right, here's our connections. They look pretty good. Now we're going to take our heat shrink. Okay, and now we are done. This is the only connection we have to make. Everything else is pretty much plug and play. But there is one thing we need to address, and that is the old connector. We will not be using this, but rather than snip it off and have things that could ground out, what I'm going to do instead is just electrical tape all around the connector. All right, I have my main positive, main negative. These are our rectifier wires right here, positive, negative. And I got my power commander plugged in because I don't want it to run weird. I'll tighten these up and we'll test it out. Moment of truth. Fuel pump's priming. Something's disconnected, I bet. Okay, I figured it out. So I mistakenly plugged this guy into here. I didn't realize there was another plug. So I can go ahead and switch this to here. And I believe the red plug is in here. Yeah, it is. Perfect. Okay. So we'll plug this back in and we'll give it another shot. All right, take two. There we go. Reading 14.3. The idle's gone down a little bit. We're at about 1,000 now, 900. And we are getting 13.6, 13.5. All right, I have everything hooked up now. All the wires are done. I finished up hooking up my fuse box here, so now that all works. And just to show you guys, I have the switchable power on. So when I turn the key, I should have a voltmeter. And there we go. I have this all taped up and tucked up out of the way. Here's my original connections. They're all good to go. This is hooked in, everything's hooked in. I'm gonna just tuck all this back. And that is it. Everything is put back together and we are all set. The bike is running great, better than ever. And that is all you need to know about installing a Mosfet rectifier on a 6th generation VFR800. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like and subscribe if this was helpful. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care and bye-bye.
It's a sick news, pull your little arrows out. Let me live my life, the one I'd better lead. All the plans of fantasies, and we looked at them 11 ways. You said, look